All right, welcome everyone. This is SIG Instrumentation. Today is March 4th, 2021, and we have a couple of things on the agenda today. First thing is a reminder, Code Freeze is March 9th. That is 5 days from now. So make sure you keep that in mind.
So it's more like 2 days from now.
Right, and I don't know about the US, but Monday is a public holiday in Germany, so part of the world, part of the Christian world is off next Monday, so you'll need to make sure to probably get things in before the weekend is. I think Leno was
What's the holiday?
I don't know. I'm not Christian, so
it's International Women's Day on Monday.
Let me check. I thought it was a Christian holiday.
While Frederick is checking what holiday it is on Monday, which we don't have in the US, I will maybe talk about structured logging, but yes. Someone needs to give me co-host.
Oh.
Done.
Thank you. Okay. This is what I get for not starting the meeting. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen. So this is moot now. So I have, in concert with Merrick, have been trying to coordinate all of the PRs around structured logging, and finally I was just absolutely losing it. And so oh, that's in another tab. Let me pop this out. So I was absolutely losing my mind because there were so many of these PRs to review. So I made a board. Yay, there's a board. And the board has like a progress bar. So you can see, how close we are to getting all of these things merged for beta. So as far as what has been done, we actually do have a bunch of these that have been merged, which is great. And we have a bunch of these that have LGTMs that just need an approver. So I'll go pester someone about that. We also have a lot of these that are currently waiting on the author to fix them. And there's two things that are not specifically like a structured log change to like note here. So one is adding the tool for verification to CI, and the other is fixing the panic because currently the flag doesn't work. So yeah, apparently we accidentally them earlier in the release. And so now we need to fix them. So that's kind of the status of this. And David, I don't know if you still have node approver powers, but for anything that you do, I might pester you to go and start approving things.
I kept approval in a couple directories, so most of the metric directories I have approval in, but not all kubelet anymore.
That is the problem. So I might have to go pester Murnal or Seth or someone about those. But other than that, that's kind of where we're at on this. We do have, I think, as far as the KEP goes, what does the KEP say? So this is in progress. What do we have going on for Kubernetes logging documentation?
I think you were last to volunteer, or no one else did.
We just like delete this file and point to structured logging instead.
No, you probably
no. Like, there's stuff in here that's useful.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I think this is really someone did really good job to clarify verbosity levels or have something sensible. So I think we just need to update it for structured logging.
I mean, so should we consolidate all? Sorry, go ahead.
Actually, maybe I should put that to do in the board because otherwise I'm going to forget about it immediately.
So I personally find it impossible to find these things. Like, is it because they're all scattered all over the place? So like, well, I mean,
these ones are not. This is in the same directory as the migration guide. So I think that this isn't too middle of nowhere.
No, but I mean, we have like our metrics guidelines.
Those are supposed to be in the same place.
Same
Everything's
place.
supposed to be in this directory.
Are they all in the same place?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then eventually this is going to get converted to the website, but they have not figured that out yet. So, okay, back to this. Okay, so we have a
if someone finds contributor guidelines, they will use it, but maybe it's not easily discovered.
It's really hard to find. We should probably put a link to
we need
this.
to link to it, I think, from places like possibly the
from Charter
developer docs.
Charter.
So that's potentially another to do there.
If there is a direct, so Han, you worked on tagging PRs for SIG instrumentation that relate to metrics. Maybe we could also do something like that. So, like link to the documentation if PR touches metrics. Okay.
The regex thing, but the only reason why it won't work the same way because logs are everywhere, and we would just have to literally be.
Let us table this discussion because it is not relevant to the thing at hand. So I think we have an action item to update those docs, so we can go and do that. For next thing, JSON format should support the same set of feature flags as text format. Merrick, where are we on that? Is that done?
Someone volunteered and assigned the issue, but I think this is pretty hard problem. Like this is not like this is requires someone that has like pretty deep been in community because it requires a lot of code.
Why is this in the beta criteria? I don't think we need this. Like we can punt that to GA.
We can, like, this was put into beta because it was pointed out as a big problem in alpha. And secondly, if we, like, we need time to, would be best that when we GA, we have already deprecated the flags that, or like deprecated and maybe removed the flags that are, will not be supported in future.
So I think that it's going to take us more than one release to GA because there's like, given how hard it's just been to migrate the kubelet, I cannot imagine we're going to migrate the rest of the code base in one release. So I think that we can punt this.
So my main thought would be that I
don't
cannot
block, like if we get everything else done, I don't want to block saying this is beta on that one thing because the person who volunteered to do it did not come through.
I'm worried that the structure, like JSON logging, will not be usable. So we could, like, here is the problem: the cap touches two things, like migration and JSON. So without this, JSON is useless technically because you cannot use anything aside of verbosity. So you cannot set verbosity per module. You cannot send it to a file if you use it.
Should we turn this into like a working group? Because it's big enough and you have a project board. So like usually when subprojects become significantly large.
Well, in theory, this is the point of the CAP process, is that like when you have multi-SIG spanning things, they should be coordinated through this sort of thing and documented in one place. A working group usually has like more than one topic they care about. So, so do we have an issue for this? Because this is not linked here, Merrick.
No, that's not necessarily true though.
I don't super want to spend time like talking about turning this into a working group when we have 5 days to code freeze and we said we were going to beta this. I want to see if like, you know, it's going to be feasible to get to beta and if we've got everything written down that we need to do or not.
I think that's reasonable. Like forming a working group won't even happen within 5 days. So let's see what we can do.
For sure. But yeah, I'm just okay.
So this
in the original issue, you asked if there is a tracking bug in the original issue, there should be one bug per
let me
criterion. I copied the work one by one with the same even names. Or I hope.
Is it this one?
It's the third from the top. JSON format should support.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have an issue for this one. I don't really understand this issue.
That
Oh, this is just kubelet tracking issue. Okay. The title, the issue, given the description on the bug didn't make sense to me. So JSON format should support the same. Okay.
The reason why I bring it up is because it's just you and Merrick talking right now, and we have other agenda items. So
yes,
we should go
yeah, but
through.
I don't think we can punt. Like there should not be much more here. Like we just need to go through the rest of this list. So we have an issue for that. We have the thing for that, which is the kubelet. This is a to-do that I will try to either take or assign someone to. And then what, so Mary, I think you added this about the end-to-end test scenario. Where are we with that?
I don't think it's not started.
Okay. Let me add a card on here to remind us to do that. Okay. So I think then that's hopefully everything that we need to do here. And Han wants to get into a working group. So, okay, that's I think all we have on that one. So I will stop sharing.
Yeah, so the next thing is ownership events. So basically, scalability and API machinery are trying to punt the events code to us. And there's a GitHub issue. They were initially trying to give us only the tests, but that seems ridiculous if we can't own the actual code. So my proposal is if they hand this stuff over to us, then they should give us approvals over the core code base.
I don't think this makes any sense otherwise. Like,
yeah. So I put a hold on
yeah.
this thing until they do that.
Yeah.
But is everyone on board with the events thing? Because it kind of makes sense for us to own it.
I think it makes sense. It's the only thing is like historically we didn't work on it, so like our expertise is somewhat limited on it, right? But that doesn't mean like these things kind of have to happen within a project this big, right? So I guess we'll need to just figure our way around it. And the people who were approvers in there before aren't gone, right? So I have a good relationship with forget how to pronounce his name, but one of the approvers.
Wojciech?
No, the other one. Yash. Yes. I forget. One of the two people who were approvers for the V2 events.
Chelsea Chen?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
All I'm trying to say is we'll figure it out.
I think it's okay for us to own this stuff as long as we have approver access and we like. I don't want this to just get dumped on us because I don't think most of us have any familiarity with the code base, and there are existing people who did own it. And so I don't want to like volunteer and say like, yeah, of course we'll own your code, and they all run away.
I do think like it logically makes sense for us to own this piece of code, and like since people are like, I don't know, I think it's the right thing to do, and I think I'm happy to take some ownership in this if necessary.
Yeah, I think that sounds reasonable to me too. Okay, that was that. What's next?
Next one, I think Lily mentioned just before the meeting that she can't make it.
Oh yeah, Lily asked me to make an announcement for her for this.
Got it.
which is we just cut a release candidate of v2.0 cube state metrics. Yay! So please test it. File issues.
Yeah. So the exciting thing about this tag is also this is the first time that we'll be using automated performance tests on kube state metrics. Lily has been working really hard on automating these with SIG scalability. So, I mean, sad that she's not here, but shout out because that was had been on our list for probably years. So that's really awesome that we'll now regularly test performance and obviously before the final 2.0 release goes out as well. So yeah, that's really awesome.
Are there any other places that you would want to remove dependence on Googlers? Because like I asked this question because that was dependence on like I was in the team that tested the cube state metrics before. Like it was mainly through Googlers that we released and tested scalability. Is there anything else that we could help there to make this like outsource it to the SIG or like to?
I mean, mostly it was whoever runs them for them to be automated, right? That was kind of the point of all of this. I think we've largely automated everything by now for kube state metrics, so I can't think of anything right now.
Okay, that's great.
One more thing, circling back to the events thing. Does anyone want to look into the events code base and become familiar with it? I don't know. If anyone wants to volunteer for it, I mean, whoever does so could obviously become the sub-project lead for that thing, because we will need one, and we don't have one because no one knows any of this code. So it's there for the taking if anyone is interested. No takers? I need to work on my sales pitch.
Yeah, I mean, this is part of the problem with like volunteering to take on code that no one's familiar with is nobody's gonna like jump and be like, oh yeah, I want to be a approver for that code.
No, I mean, we'll all be approvers, but like someone has to actually like look at the code and kind of understand.
That's what I mean. Like, I got other stuff going on. Events are not in my
yeah, for sure. I'm not volunteering. I'm definitely, you are not the person I was thinking of, because you and Merrick kind of have your hands full. I mean, like the logging stuff is. Oh yeah, see, there you go. Awesome, thank you.
Okay, Matthias. We have an item from Huang Wei about scheduling reviews. So maybe we should do that.
Yeah, hi folks. This is Wei from SIG Scheduling. So the background of these two PRs is that in recently SIG Scheduling integration framework performance test, we found some bugs, some correctness issues. So these two PRs are for that. And the code change won't impact the mainstream. It's just will help us correct the issues of running the scheduler performance test. So the first one is that we used to want to support the histogram metrics, but in the upstream, we changed that some metrics from histogram to histogram vector, but the supporting code is not updated properly. So this first one is for that. The first one unconditionally returns the first index histogram, which is not correct. The second one is that we call some DTO. The object clear call the method a reset, but that reset doesn't really does what we expected. So the second PR is transferred to another called a legacy registry reset. So I think they're not that complicated. So if you have time, yeah, please help review them.
Yeah, I can take a look. I am assigned
thank you so much.
to them. Yeah, I know this code, so I will pin these things.
Yeah, Han, you're currently the one scheduled for SIG instrumentation on both of these, so.
Yeah, it's on me. Sorry, I have been out of office and I am currently on vacation right now. So, but I will take a look later today.
Yeah, right. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
Just a minor comment, just glancing over this right now, that the one PR where we calculate quantiles and stuff like that, I would prefer if that wasn't part of the histogram itself, but rather a separate function, but that's kind of minor. I can comment it on the PR.
Yeah,
It also looks from the test like it's not a histogram, it's a summary, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
Now I feel less compelled to review because we are.
So we have 6 minutes left. Do we have any other agenda?
Oh yeah. We're getting two metrics into stable. There are 2 PRs out for it. And I have been contemplating adding a third, which is, so right now there's a PR out for API server storage object counts. And then there's API server request totals. Count makes sense, by the way. I was okay with the counts because it's actually not cumulative. I don't know how you feel about that, Frederick.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
So it's
like
API
which...
server object counts, not API server object totals, because it's a gauge and not a counter.
Oh.
I'm just sharing my screen with all of the keps that we're currently
I see.
Yeah, so I'm okay with the counts because it seems to signify something different, though it's a little bit confusing because it's a counter. It's not a counter. But we already agreed on the underscore total for the counters, so.
Right. In that case, the best practice would actually be to just not have any like suffix. It would just be API server objects.
Okay.
Or storage objects or whatever the metric would be.
Can you link all the PRs that are adding things to stable metrics here?
Sure, I can do that. I will add it to do.
Yeah, that's a good catch. I did not think about that. But you're totally
I'm just
right.
thinking about the whole backlog of stuff here with our 4 minutes left. David, what's going on with tracing?
So I had a discussion with Daniel and he asked for some changes to the design. So there's a KEP update that I'm waiting for review on. I might just not wait for review and actually go make the changes I'm proposing. Most of them are kind of small or remove functionality that we were planning to add. But yeah, I just need to, given the tight deadline, I should probably just go implement it and hope that everything goes through. Some good news is that it looks like etcd was able to resolve some of the issues they were having with bumping their gRPC version. So I think they got it to like it's not all the way solved. So it might be enough that I can actually implement this, but I would have to use a slightly older version of OpenTelemetry, which is unfortunate because a lot of changes have come in since then. But for alpha quality, I think it'll be all right. But yeah, they still have like, I think a protobuf upgrade that they need to do before they can actually like bump further. And I know that there are a lot of smart people thinking about that problem and it's really hard. But yeah, I would consider this very much at risk, but there's now at least like a small chance that it gets in.
Very nice. I believe I have a replace directive for gRPC because of etcd in pretty much every project I work on.
Yep.
Very cool. I'm excited about that in itself.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so I've added a comment just so the release team is not in the dark on what's going on there.
Thank you.
That covers tracing. It sounds like, we might slip another release, but it's in better shape than it's been, which is good. Not a lot remaining. Metric stability, we know what we need to do. Structured logging, we know what we need to do. I pinged Clayton about this one. To graduate to beta, it's just a matter of basically updating the docs. We don't currently have we got rid of the phase beta on metrics. We only have alpha and stable, so we don't need to bump that or anything like that. So it's really just a doc change for this one, and more benchmarking, I guess. This one is being tracked by SIG Security, and I guess the only one we got left is metric cardinality enforcement. I know there's a PR up for that, Han. Is that making good time?
It's in.
That one looks merged.
It's merged.
And that one also looks merged.
Yeah. We're done.
Okay, so it's done.
Yeah, we're
Yay.
done. Dynamic cardinality. Yeah,
So we just
dynamic
need doc
cardinality.
changes for this one, I think.
Yeah, dynamic cardinality is, but yeah, the doc deadline's after code freeze. So we have some time.
Just real quick, I need to drop. Should I make someone host, or do we want to end?
Wait, I'm a co-host, right? So.
Yeah, I think there's 2 co-hosts, and we're also at time. So, and we've gone over everything. So I think we're in good shape for code freeze. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Take
See you
care.
next time. Bye-bye.
See you.